So the coolest thing that ever happened to me is just because it was very surreal was I'm traveling with him full time on the trail in 2016, and no one thinks he can win. I do, and he does. But the night before the election, we do like 6 or 7 different states. I mean, it is a packed day. We get in at like 3 a.m. from the last rally. The election is the next morning, beginning at 7, 8, 9 a.m.
Right.
So I'm the last person to see him that night because I'm bringing him all his boxes and bags and everything. And, I'm loading him up into his apartment, and then he has his newspaper, and he looks at me and he says, "So what do you think?" And I'm like, "I think you got it." And then he grabs his newspaper and he slaps me on the arm. He's like, "I think so too." And the next day he was elected president.
And welcome back to another edition of Dive In Deep, the Dirty Water Boys. Yours truly, Dirty Water Don to my left.
Gano.
And our guest today is John Mentee. How are you? The right stuff.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm happy you came down. You travel far. You're all from California.
I came from California. Yeah, I'm here in New York. It was about a 30-minute Uber here, so very easy. But yeah.
Tell me a little about yourself. You were all over my news feed with your videos. And then I went to go show my wife one, and she's like, "I've seen it."
Very entertaining.
I'm like, "What do you saw it?" I'm giving you comedy gold. And she already saw it. And then she started sending me more. I'm like, "This is great." And then one night I went down the rabbit hole and watched them all. It took me 8 hours. So it's
yeah, I mean,
much.
we started a dating app for conservatives, the right stuff. There's a dating app for almost any group, right? If you're Jewish or a single parent, if you love music or you own a dog, But until now, there wasn't one for something that's super important to people, which is political affiliation.
All right.
And so we started it, and when we were trying to get attention and getting people to talk about it and bringing people to our site, when you're a startup, you don't have a huge budget. So we're thinking of like what organic ways we can get a lot of attention. And then we realized, TikTok was a way you could go viral pretty quickly, and you don't need a huge following to do that. So we started doing the TikTok trends. We started playing around with a lot of different ideas. We just posted consistently, and then we found this formula where, you just do like a funny one-liner. It's quick, it's punchy. We make fun of liberals, right, since we're the site for conservatives. And, it just sort of took off from there.
Dude, I love it. It's not, I don't take it so much as you're making fun of them. It's just you're pointing out the obvious.
Right.
Because you listen to it and you're like, I would love to hear someone argue that.
Everyone's thinking it.
I would love to see someone argue logic. My 8-year-old understands you can't argue logic because you look stupid. So do you get people arguing with you on them?
I don't really engage in the comment section.
Okay.
I feel like if I did that, I would have no time for anything else. Like, we're running a company, so we just post our thing. We let the debates happen, let people...
Oh, you never chime in?
I never chime in.
Oh, I was like a guest
Yeah,
speaker?
I don't even know if we've liked like sometimes we'll go through and maybe like a few, but we don't really engage with it. We kind of just let people do their thing. And, a lot of people will send us DMs like, "I want to debate you." And they have like 4 followers or something.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay.
Let me get in front of your 4 audience and we'll talk about this.
Yes.
By the way, I'm $1,000 an hour. We'll debate wherever you want. So you don't engage in the negative, huh?
No, I don't
I love
engage
the
in
comment
it.
section on your page.
Yeah.
Oh, it's rich.
Yeah, I
It's good
rarely
stuff.
look at it even, but it is fun. People will send me things or highlight them, and I find them funny most of the time.
They're great.
Yeah.
I actually get yelled at home because Instagram, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram does not allow you to mute the noise. Just in the app, you got to turn your phone down to read the comments. So as I'm reading the comments, it's just playing in the background like 40, 50 times. And I get, turn it off. I'm like, sorry. But the comment section is definitely where it's at.
Yeah.
So how is it going with the dating app? Do you have a lot of positive feedback on that?
Yeah.
A lot
great.
of happy couples?
Yeah, 13 marriages already.
13 marriages.
Yeah, well, 2 marriages and 11 engagements. Yeah. So
Any divorces?
no divorces.
Oh, that's the hard
this is
question.
only the second year.
When
right?
did your app go live?
It went live last year.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's still new. I think,
Is it available in the App Store?
App Store, free to use.
Okay.
It's not Android available yet, which we
Because
get
you're
a
an
lot
adult. It makes sense.
Yeah,
only
which
kids use Android.
we get a lot of hate from the Android users. They feel discriminated against, but
Is there a lot of that use Android? I feel like that's a weird. I think that's
I've
more
never,
left.
I've never heard that if it was like an Apple or Android.
I don't know if
left or
it's
right.
very political.
I want to
Yeah.
find out if it is because I know a lot of people. I know a couple people, more than 4, and the ones that are on this side to this side, Android, I've noticed dye their hair blue.
Interesting.
Yeah, I only have a couple of those friends.
I mean,
but
I get some people send us a message and they'll say, why would you use Apple? That's a liberal product. It's like, well, you're using a Google product.
Yeah.
Like there's no really perfect answer
Yeah.
here. I just much prefer Apple's brand,
Yeah.
And also, everyone we know used Apple, so obviously we would start with Apple.
I hang out with adults and we use Apple products.
We're against the green text. you
I
know?
don't do that. I like how Congress is against
Yeah,
the green. I commented on that
They're like,
on
you're getting-
CBS. Like I said, all the money that we need to spend on important infrastructure, things like that. This is what we're spending it on.
Right.
And
They're
I
like,
got,
green texts are being discriminated
dude, I got
against.
so much hate back because of it. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how many Android users was on this app.
That's so funny.
So you get 2 years in, 11 engagements, you said, and 2 marriages.
Yep.
Were
And
you-
one baby on the way.
Wow.
Are they married or not married?
They are married.
Oh, okay, all
Yes,
right.
they are
They
married.
have the right stuff.
They are
Yeah, I was
married.
gonna say, wait a minute. I saw you launching clothes.
Yep, we got
I
this
ordered
here.
the mug for my wife, the liberal one.
Oh.
Make fun of liberals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can make fun of a liberal,
Yeah.
you should.
You should.
Yeah.
You should enjoy that.
Great.
I feel like you need to add the middle finger underneath, so when you lift it up and drink it, there it is.
Oh, that's funny.
Just why not? Just
Okay.
one more.
Well, Kate is here and she runs our merch, so maybe we'll tell
Hey, we could do that.
her.
That'd be great. I'll order another one. I'm down for it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we got the merch. We're gonna come out with some summer merch.
You can do short shorts. Maybe a
Maybe
nice,
board shorts.
maybe an 8-inch thigh.
Yeah.
I heard that's fashionable now.
Right. Yeah, when we
don't
were
know.
young, it was the long.
Yeah.
If you were
Speedo.
anything
Yep.
above your knee, you were.
You were something.
Yeah.
We called you something.
You gotta get a
We can't
Speedo
say it
with
anymore.
stuff across the butt.
No.
But now, the shorter.
Speaking of not saying stuff, I saw an influencer yesterday call his driver a tater tot.
Mm.
He said, "Hey, tater tot, what the fuck is that?" He goes, "I can't call you what I want to call you. It's not politically correct." So now I'm calling everyone tater tot.
That's
all right,
funny.
tater tot. So you the merch. It seems like it's going well,
Yeah.
and the marriage is all. You get invited to those weddings?
I went to the first one, yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
as I was sitting there, I'm like, is someone recording this? Both of them mentioned the right stuff in their vows. And I was like, this is great.
Wow.
This is like,
Content gold.
yeah, this is commercial.
Did you get it? Well, I imagine they had it recorded.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
going to get it. It was in the fall, so I'm going to get that footage and kind of make something
Let's
out
see.
of that. That's-
A wedding in the fall. You'll probably get those photos back next winter.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
My first marriage, I got my photos back after we were broken up.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's real. It's a real thing.
Wow.
Yeah. You know why? She didn't have the right stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Was she actually, you mean you politically disagreed, or you just mean in general she didn't have the right stuff?
All of it.
Mm.
All of it. And my wife now, we didn't know about the right stuff. I found her the old-fashioned way. You wait
bar.
for you wait for a girl to post some Bible stuff,
Oh, okay.
and that's the one. It's good stuff there.
And where are you guys at politically? I don't even know. I
Right.
mean, I can assume.
I'm more of a middle road, I would say, but I lean more towards the right.
Are you like a Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan kind of right? Are you like a Rand Paul, Bill
Yeah,
Maher?
I would go Tucker
like
Carlson,
Tucker
Joe Rogan
Carlson.
kinda
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
so.
go with that.
Mhm.
And
A lot of it's common sense.
Yeah.
It is a lot of common sense. I can't vote,
Right.
so there's that.
A lot of my uncles can't vote.
Yeah, I can't vote, which I think is ridiculous because I saw something on TikTok that stated I have no representation
Mm.
in government, which means why are they taxing me?
Yeah.
If I can't be represented, then why am I being taxed?
Right.
And the guy had a real long spiel about it. I'm like, you got my vote. I can't vote for you, but you got it. If
Yeah.
I could. So yeah, I can't vote, but if I could, I would.
Got it.
Yeah, I would definitely vote that direction.
Got it. Yeah. Before this, I actually worked in politics, and people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah. And, so
This I gotta hear. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I worked for Trump. I worked in the White House, and
I called it. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know your background at all before you came in here. I like to be fresh. And
oh,
learn
yeah.
about
It's
people.
fun to, yeah.
And I said, he
just said it.
It seems like he could work for Trump in the next election cycle. Like,
Oh, wow. How interesting. Yeah.
you have that vibe to it.
Yes, I did
like,
for years. Yeah, I started as a volunteer in 2015 for his campaign, worked my way up, and then was his personal aide. Traveled the world with him.
No
all
shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people don't know that. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
funny
know.
now. Everyone just knows me from like TikTok or Instagram,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, do they know you like work
Maybe that's
in
why
the
I've seen.
White House?
That's why you
or
look
something?
familiar. Yeah. Probably seen
He
him on
does
the
look very
news, yeah.
senator-like. He'd be a congressman.
Mm.
Yeah, it's clean cut. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you obviously have the right stuff.
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
And you can vote, which is a plus.
I can vote.
Yeah.
So did you always want to be in like politics and stuff growing up?
No,
or-
you know, I never really thought about it. It wasn't until after college when I started kind of like reading more and thinking more, and I was like, you know, a lot of this stuff is messed up, and like, I'm from Southern California. You see the state changing. You're like putting things together,
Reading
and then you
Arnold
realize like,
Schwarzenegger
oh,
back.
actually, like politics do matter, because a lot of people are like, whatever, who cares, you know? It's like, no, there's some weird stuff going on here, you know.
A
and
lot
then
of weird stuff going
so
on.
when Donald Trump announced that famous escalator speech, you know, I was like inspired. It was just like the perfect moment. I had been reading, I'd been thinking. I was like, this is it. I was like, I got to work for this guy, you know. So I just quit my job and showed up to work for Trump. And
Wait, unannounced? You just showed up? Hey,
Okay.
guys.
so
we're here for
actually,
my cup.
so I was working an entry-level job at Fox,
Okay.
and you know, we were all watching on TV the announcement, and everyone in the office, Fox, conservative network, everyone in the office is laughing. They're like, Trump's a joke. He has no chance. They're like, I'm like, guys, like, I think this guy could win.
He can go the distance.
So I just start emailing every day his campaign, and they never accept it. Like, they never respond. So finally, 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm like, okay, the Trump campaign doesn't have anyone to check emails. I'll take that job and I'll do it for free. And they were like, okay, come in and do it. And I was like, okay. So I just showed up, and that's it.
So you quit a paying job,
Yeah,
and then you went to go work for a non-paying job.
correct.
How long did you do that for?
Within a month or so, they started paying me.
Okay.
I knew I needed to just kind of get in the
yeah,
door.
you got to show
They
up.
see
and
your
do it.
worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was just grinding. I was like doing everything. We're answering phones, opening mail, you know, setting up events like 24/7, and then, you know, you're basically employee number 4 or whatever
Yeah.
of a startup, and it's like you just kind of
Climb up.
climb up. Yeah.
That's
How long?
awesome.
How long did you do that for?
So I started in July of 2015. I did a lot of different jobs on the campaign until June of 2016, the election year. Then I got promoted to be a travel aide, so I traveled with the candidate everywhere he went. Every rally in 2016, every single stop he made, from June until the election in November for like 5 or 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then that kind of morphed into a position in the White House where I was his personal aide. And then I did that the first year of the administration and the last year of the administration.
So you worked in the physical White House
Yeah.
itself. I have a question.
The
to ask
stuff
if you don't mind.
must have seen.
If you don't mind, I'll ask you a question.
Sure.
All right. Recently, a little white baggie of shit was found in the White House.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your take on that?
My take is that was either a guest or a staffer's, and
And do you find it unbelievable that they couldn't locate who dropped it?
no, because there's not a lot of cameras in different parts inside the White House, you know, and
Okay.
that's a good thing. You don't want
Yeah.
some like weird deep state person spying on your meeting.
Okay.
You
yeah,
know,
I
like
can
you
buy
need some
that.
privacy.
I got you.
So like when people are like, how could they not know? It's like, well, there's not a camera everywhere. Like there is around the perimeter, of course. There's in certain like public locations, but to think like every office has a camera surveilling them, it would like hinder your work. You'd be
Solid
like,
answer.
Who's watching me? You know,
Yeah, how
like
can you really get down and get your work done? When
yeah,
you're being
and
watched?
then people are like, it's Hunter Biden's. It's like I don't think Hunter is bringing coke into the White
think
House.
you know-
little baggie.
Like I think it was probably just some like young staffer who forgot it was in their jacket or something.
pulled
you
their
know?
cell phone out and fell off the cell
Like
phone.
yeah, I mean
Been
that,
there.
that-
I'm
yeah,
saying I've seen it happen.
that's what I think.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
I think Hunter knows exactly where all of his blow is.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to
not
let any
losing
of that
any of it, yeah.
get away from him.
Now, when you were younger coming up, were you like known as a matchmaker? Did you match a lot of people together, or you just got into matchmaking?
No, I just got into it because after the administration ended, me and my buddies were thinking, like, what do we do now? And it's not like when you're a Democrat. You know, when you're a Democrat, if you're Obama's top guy, you get to go be on the board of Netflix. You know, everyone hooks each other up, you know.
Yeah.
If you're a Republican, it's like no one's hooking you up. They're like, you either go work at a think tank, you work for a lobbying firm, or you find another campaign to work on. That's about it. But at the time, all the alternative tech stuff was becoming big, right? Like the right-wing version of YouTube, the right-wing version of Twitter. So we thought, oh, why don't we do like alternative tech? And then a girl I know was like, you know what you should do is make a dating app for Republicans. All my girlfriends just want to date a Republican guy. And then we're like, wait,
First of all,
We're
where
like-
are all these girls located?
We're like, wait, that's kind of smart. We were thinking about our own
Yeah.
experiences, and then we brought it to an investor, and it kind of just all worked, and we're like, yep, let's do it.
Because I personally have never used a dating app. I've looked at them, sitting with my friends, and they're swiping and doing their things. And I feel like it would be easy to kind of point out who's what direction through their bio and their photos.
Not.
It's harder now.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's little secret codes people use, right? The big thing is like if they say moderate, that means Republican, or like you see like, oh, if they're a Christian and they put that, well then they're probably conservative, and so you have to play this guessing game. But
Okay.
on our app, we're just like everyone's kind of the same in this one way. We kind of all agree. We're kind of right of center politically, kind of more religious. You know what everyone is. It saves you a lot of time, energy,
gotcha.
money, like trying to figure that out. And then people say, well, you can filter by that on other apps. Well, number one, you have to pay to do that. But even if you do pay to do that, a lot of people aren't truthful because they're scared of like the hostility. So they won't put it. They won't put, oh, I'm a Republican. And then you have to like guess. And then you're like asking them questions at dinner, so what does your dad do? And, trying to like piece it together rather than.
What's your dad do?
Yeah. Tell me, is he a small business owner? Is he a professor? Like it tells you a lot. Is he a cop? So rather than having to like play this guessing game, it's like, why don't we just create somewhere where everyone can be themselves, where everyone's kind of alike, and we're all looking for a normal dating experience. Yeah.
Now, have you had anyone try to infiltrate yours yet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But
They're
it's,
like, fuck you.
it's very rare. I would say that happens 1 out of every few hundred times.
So there's that many people on your app.
Yeah, there's about 60,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some good pickings right there.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's very rare, and it's like it's not like Instagram where you can like comment and troll. Like
Yeah.
you can try to match with someone and then troll them, and then they'll just unmatch you or report you. It's like
Yeah. Is there,
womp womp. Okay.
Is there a good match? Like, how do I word this?
The ratio?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's about 52% male, so it's close to 50-50.
That's a pretty good-
52-48.
pretty good-
So do you
Pool you
get
got
to
there.
pick, like, do you get to see where a part of the country all these people are from? Like
Yeah,
where-
most are in Southern California just because we're
Okay.
based there.
Right.
We have a decent amount in New York just because it's a big city, so many people. But this summer, we're really going to hone in on Southern California. And people say, what? California? It's like, actually, that's the place you need it. If you're in a super red area, you don't
Yeah.
really need this app. It's for people that are in a hostile enemy territory. You're in New York, California, and you're like, where are the people that are like me? It's like, there's millions of them. You just don't know where to
Hostile.
find them,
Yeah. It's sad that I'm laughing at that, but it's the truth.
Yeah, you're in enemy territory.
I walked off Chelsea Piers in Manhattan. I have tattoos from my neck down to my toes. I have my wetsuit tied around my waist, smoking a cigarette. That is my outfit. A lady walks by me and starts screaming at me, I'm a piece of shit, racist, Trump supporter. I'm like, what about me says any of that? And I'm like, all right. I get done for the day. Like an hour later, I go to leave. I'm in my pickup truck, and she's yelling, baby dick. I'm like, who told you? Right? Like, your daughter's spelling lies. Like, and she's
You
looking
talk
at
to
me.
my ex?
Yeah, what the fuck? But it was out of nowhere.
That's weird.
Very hostile. I'm just minding my own business. Because I'm
That's
white, I
very-
have tattoos, I have a pickup
And
truck.
then as he's
This is
driving
who
away,
I
I
am.
can't vote.
Yeah, I can't even vote. I'm a felon. Joke's on you. And then they look at you like, what did you do? I didn't do
That's
anything wrong.
weird.
Yeah, but it's very, I laugh at it because it is hostile.
Oh,
In
they're
the
hostile.
city,
They're
it's
hostile.
extremely hostile.
Oh,
crazy stuff,
I love
yeah.
how people try to memory hole COVID. It's like people went insane, and we all try to forget that. Oh, that was years ago. What? Yeah, you were like reporting your neighbors for going outside, like
having a
that-
barbecue.
That got weird,
You got real weird.
and it was scary that a lot of people in this country, you kind of saw their true colors. It was like, whoa, give them like this little power, give them this little, and it's like that they got crazy.
They reported my daughter's birthday party. My back
Yeah, exactly. That's insane.
There was, I don't know, like 18, 20 people there. And the Nutley cops came. And they were like, you got to disperse. I'm like, no, we're good. He's like, it's town ordinance. I'm like, I don't give a shit whose ordinance. I'm not dispersing. This is my property. I'm not leaving anywhere. I live right here. These are all my blood family members.
But they waited outside the house,
Yeah.
down the block, and people leave. Some people got pulled over.
No way.
Yeah.
All for
That was such a
how old
dark
is she?
time.
But
She's
no one was
5?
drinking. Like everyone who was drinking
Yeah.
was stayed there, and like my parents left, we left, and like no one was drinking. So they were trying to flex on us, but they had nothing on us. So
And then the next day they came by with the town inspector, wanted to see my permit for the pool. They wanted a permit for the treehouse.
Oh my god.
And I laughed like, I don't need a permit for the treehouse. And they go, yes, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. It's a freestanding structure. I put a roof deck on top of a shed. I go, I don't need a permit for that. Argue all you want. I don't need it. And they came with the law book, and they were like, well, maybe he doesn't. We still need to see it for the pool. I'm like, I bought the house with the pool. So whoever installed it, that's not my problem. You should have done that years ago. And it was a big to-do all because of a birthday party. I don't forget COVID. I loved it. I made more money at COVID than I made any time of the year.
How so?
Because every other construction industry was shut down but diving.
Oh.
We were still working. We're on the water. So it didn't really apply to us.
Wow.
And you're always social distancing because the job site's big. You're
I don't like
really
I don't like the guys I work with, so I'm not standing.
And he's
6 feet behind
underwater,
him.
so.
But yeah, we worked all through COVID. But to watch how it destroyed the country and destroyed everyone's livelihood, all these small businesses were getting shut down and closed doors. Meanwhile, I can go to Walmart and liquor store, no problem.
Not to mention the kids.
Couldn't go to
school.
church, but I can go to a dispensary. How does that make any sense? And then my daughter's autistic, and they wanted to teach her virtually through a computer. How does that make sense? She lost 2 years of education that taxpayers paid for.
Right.
Right? So where'd that money go? Just that money alone, where'd the tax money go for education?
The same place it always goes. Waste.
It's just the whole thing. I can go on for hours.
No,
And
it was
these really aren't a left or right issue. These are just truths that people saw throughout everything. And if you can't see the truth,
And why do you think people don't talk about that?
Because they were wrong.
Yeah.
It's like with a child mentality. If you yell at your child for doing something wrong, the first thing they're going to do is say, I didn't do it. Not me. I watched you do it. I didn't do it.
It's just this. It was like
child mentality.
It was arguably one of the greatest human rights violations ever.
Yes.
And it happened in this country, and people don't talk about it. You know, it's like one of those things where, I don't know, it's like, just so you know, remember when we like kept kids from school for years and like locked people in their homes?
Yeah.
Like,
I went out, walked around, did everything I was supposed to do. We go to the park, and I'd cut the tape off the swing. My daughter would go on the swing constantly.
Yeah. Remember they shut down the basketball court,
Yeah.
sand in the skate park.
Yep, they just did all that. But they did it in Nutley, and we literally were
That
blocked
got
from the park.
So nutty.
Every other day we walk down there, and there'd be yellow tape. Snip. And then they come down and say, you got to leave. You know, you're going to be arrested for trespassing. I'm like, you have to trespass me first. Tell me to leave. And if I don't leave, then you trespass me. That's how that works. And he's like, then leave. Like, okay, see you later. And we leave, come back 2 days later, cut the tape. It was a weekly thing we did. Like a little hobby we like
They
to
put
do.
the tape up, we cut the tape down, they put the
Like you're going to the park, my door's like, don't forget your knife, Dad. I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks. Need that.
Oh.
COVID was crazy. And the supermarket aisles, my favorite was the supermarket
The
aisles.
arrows?
You can go one direction.
It's like, shit, I passed the pasta. Well, got to go all the way around.
I go down the wrong way all the time. I'm like, me scusi.
But what really scares me is, though, the whole cry wolf thing. Now, what if something really bad does hit everybody? What's going to happen then?
No one's going to believe it.
Everybody's like, no. And then
We're gonna, it's gonna be the black plague or something.
I do enjoy the conspiracy theories, though, behind all of it.
Like which ones?
Speaking of Trump, have you heard the latest one with Trump?
No.
Okay. Boeing is reporting all these bad planes right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
His
Doors
private
are
plane
flying off.
is a Boeing.
Yeah.
So they're going to take him out by a defaulty Boeing plane.
Oh wow.
That
Jeez,
was the
I
latest
hope
one I
not.
heard. I was like,
Oh.
There's
Okay.
There's 50 new conspiracy theories every day.
I love the
But
conspiracy
I think
theories.
people put them out so that it takes away from the ones that are really true.
Which one do you think is true?
all of them.
Oh, there's so many.
Give me a few that you think, the few big ones that you guys think are true. Just curious.
Conspiracy theory that I think is true. Off the top of my head, I'd say like Antarctica. Just for as a small one. Why
about it?
they don't let anybody? You can't go to Antarctica. You can't just like get on your own plane you own or boat you own and go there. If you do, you're met with not a hostility at first, but what are you doing here? Because all these countries made a pact to the Antarctic Treaty to no one's allowed to build there, go there except
So
for
what do you
science.
think is happening there? Just
I
curious.
believe in the center of Antarctica, there's probably like
The jungle.
like land that we don't know. That there's for what reason? Natural resources.
like the government
are there.
is using it for
Just
something.
they
or-
just don't want us to go there for some reason.
But why? But how do
I
they have
wonder-
the authority to tell us we can't go there?
Because
That's what bothers me. Why
because
can't I go there?
once these countries make a treaty,
Mm.
But who the hell are they?
the countries you live in, you pay taxes for.
That's crazy.
You're residents of. You're a citizen of. You have to follow their rules. If their rule says you can't go there,
I haven't heard anything about Antarctica. That's very
Yeah.
interesting. I'll look into that one.
Get back to us on that.
because Admiral Byrd back in the early 1900s,
Those
he
were
went
20s.
there. I think it was right after World War II. He went down there and he reported like it was lush green forest and like jungles in the center of Antarctica. Like other things too.
And if
but,
you look
like,
at the maps of the old encyclopedias, the original maps of Antarctica didn't show snow and ice. The newer ones do. At pre-50s are no snow. It's green lush. And then the ones 50s and newer in the encyclopedias are all ice and
so
snow.
why keep us out? You can go there.
Yeah.
You can pay like $12,000, $8,000, and go there on a scientific expedition. But
Supervised.
You're only
Yeah.
going on
You
the
got a
very
babysitter.
outskirts of Antarctica, like old fishing villages,
Right,
and
like
whaling
what's in the
villages,
center there.
things like that. But you're not allowed to go in the main.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can't fly
gotta
over.
look
There's
into
no
this.
Google Maps. Like there's nothing.
But
Why?
it's weird. Yeah, we can't fly. Well, I guess because, yeah.
But why would you want to?
So things like that, like people are like, oh, there's also ice there. Why do you want to go there? Like that kind of thing. It's no big deal.
I love ice.
What about any of the space stuff? What do we think about that? Do you guys look into that?
The moon? I think the moon was fake. I'll say it. And the moon landing was fake.
Oh, the moon landing was
Yeah, I
fake.
think it was fake.
Yeah.
I have
think it's
friends
like-
who think that.
I think it was fake. There's so many things against it that say it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And then you're
Russia was the first. They were first in space. They were first to have a satellite there. We were losing the race for everything.
I do
Like, what
enjoy
do we do?
the
We have
what
the best
Russia
directors
did.
in the world, Kubrick and those guys.
And they made it. They made it happen.
We can make a landing video, no problem. But I do believe we went up there eventually, but
No.
not in 1969.
I don't think we did. If you look into why we don't do it again, what was they said? Because we lost the math.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you lose the math?
we lost all the calculations that got us there.
Who's the his last name's Bravo, and he goes on Rogan. The
Eddie
Johnny
Bravo.
Bravo?
What-
Eddie
what-
Bravo.
Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
Have you seen his stuff about?
Oh yeah, flat Earth and stuff. He goes
Well-
deep into that
well,
kind of stuff.
I don't know about flat Earth. I mean, I know he goes deep into it, but he does talk about like space and how it's all fake and like.
There's a firmament,
And he's
you
like,
can't get through it.
everything they show you is just a cartoon, and it's like they act like with such certainty when everything literally is like a cartoon. It's a really funny kind of explanation.
Yeah, I've only watched the Joe Rogan stuff. He's actually mentioned me on. I don't watch Joe Rogan stuff. He does.
Yeah, I've seen every.
I see
single
all
thing
the
he does,
clips
yeah.
on TikTok.
I see those too, but I don't like go actually on Spotify
Watch the
or
full
YouTube.
episode.
Yeah, I don't watch
Yeah,
full
I
episodes.
don't either. I just see
Like
some
he
of the clips.
actually will send me when he mentioned my name. He'll send me that clip. I'll watch that a lot. You know,
That's
Pleasure-
awesome.
Pleasure myself in the mirror. Watch that clip. But I never watched the whole episode. He'll
Right,
call me
right,
like, "He said your name again." I'm like, "Cool." At what minute did he do that? Got it.
All right, right there.
There it is.
To
I'm
the
gonna share
second.
that.
Yeah. He said my name wrong in the last episode. He called me Dirty Water Dan.
Oh yeah.
He corrected himself, but he called me Dirty Water Dan. And after that, I have gotten copious amounts of messages on Instagram telling me Dan. Calling just Dan. That's it. Sent. I had a very big, from the TV show, I had a very big Midwestern audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very surprising how large it was in the Midwestern region. Where I'm like, whoa, okay.
And their idea of a joke is calling you the wrong name.
Yeah. And
Right,
Then,
right.
then calling you sexy afterwards. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, a lot of Dan jokes came out of that. And I'm like, thanks, Joe. Or could I call you John? Like, I'm going the wrong name now. He told us we were supposed to go on, and then he lost our numbers.
For now, we'll see.
I don't want to
I
talk
still
about
have
it, but I
faith.
do.
Yeah, you go on.
I don't have faith. I lost.
And wait, are you two? How are you two?
Brothers.
My brother?
Okay, brother.
Yeah.
Older.
Oh,
I'm
younger?
older, yeah.
Older. 18 months apart.
Okay, got it.
My parents had one hobby. They didn't collect stamps.
And it was the 80s.
You know what I'm saying?
Weird
80s
times.
80s
So
are
you
crazy.
have more siblings, I guess.
Yes. We have an older brother, David.
Mm-hmm.
He's much cooler than us. And then a very much older sister, Regina.
I'm sure she loves to hear that.
Very much older than myself. Yeah, she's very old. What is she, 40 now?
Yeah, 40.
Oh,
Mm.
tough
How old are
break.
you guys?
36 and 37.
38.
Whatever. January, I forgot. How about you? Got siblings?
I have two older sisters.
They much older or just regular older?
One is regular older and one is much older.
They love to hear that.
So you're the baby of the family?
I am, yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it awesome?
They have, yeah, it's great.
I love it.
They have a lot of kids, so it's busy.
We all do.
So you're an uncle. No kids of your
No
own?
kids of my own.
Are you married, engaged? Are you using your own app?
I use my own app. Yeah,
you?
I do. Yeah, it's kind of like the old Tom from MySpace.
He's popping in.
I just match with everyone. They're like, "Isn't that the guy on the Instagram?" You know.
Do I got to pay for this now if I match with him?
Yeah, I use it. It's fun, but no, I'm single. Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, you're a puppy. You got plenty of time.
Yeah,
You can have kids until you're 90. It's fine.
right.
Your,
Yeah.
your biological clock is
One
not.
of these days.
Were you at all thinking of getting involved in this? If Trump does win again, get involved again?
You know, I'm definitely going to help. I already am part of this project that's in charge of staffing the next administration because that's what I did in the last year of the White House. So I'm part of this project called Project 2025, and it's basically if he wins in November, like what happens? Like who's taking these jobs? Because the first time he relied a lot on like the DC network.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you get the same like establishment, like they don't share the Trump worldview, you know? And like when you're Trump and you want to like, you know, change the system and bring the troops home and renegotiate the trade and, you know, end immigration and all that stuff, it's like you need people that agree with that. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. Like the government's too big. You can't move this machine unless you have, you know, an army of people that are on board and competent and professional and can get the job done. So what we're doing is kind of like finding those people, seeing who was good the first time, bringing them back into the fold, you know, recruiting new people and just going to help staff the next administration. Will I actually go physically work there? Probably not. You know, I have the right stuff. I'm like trying to do my own thing.
But you do have the right stuff.
I do have the right stuff.
And he's trying to find people with the right stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll actually go work there, but I'm definitely going to help.
Okay.
Nice.
Just so they can like be set up for success.
You have faith in this next run?
I think it's, you know, I mean, I'd never bet against Donald Trump for sure.
It's a fool's bet, if you ask me.
I would never bet against him. I think there's something kind of historic and poetic that could happen when it's like Napoleon returning from Elba, right? Everyone wrote off Trump. He's dead politically. You know, his career's over. That was just this weird thing that happened, and we never are dealing with him again. Uh-oh, he might come back
Here he comes.
from the dead. It would just be kind of a cool... It's really a movie. So for that reason, I think, wow, it might just happen because, like, it's just so epic. But the way our country is, the way Democrats have such a stronghold on certain voting blocks, it's really hard to win as a Republican.
And the RFK wild card.
You have RFK pulling votes from we don't know yet. I would say he might pull more from Trump. Polls show he pulls more from Biden. I don't know. So you have the RFK factor. You have the Democrat machine.
Possible war on the horizon.
Yeah, war. Just a lot of just instability. So I really
variables
think
in that.
I really think it's just a coin flip. You know, it's just 50-50.
Really?
Yeah. I think most elections are.
Do you think the last election was as rigged as they say it was?
As rigged as they say it was? Okay, so I get that question a lot, and all I say, because I don't know. I don't know. COVID presented a lot of unique opportunities for things that ordinarily don't go on. But what I say is in 2008, in 2012, and in 2016, roughly the same number of people voted in those elections.
Right.
08, 12, 16. Then in 2020, an extra 25 million people voted.
Black people.
Who are they? Yeah, maybe they were all legit. Okay. Who are they? Why are they voting now? They're inspired. They're, you know, what was that? Why was there such a spike? And to say like there's no fraud there,
Hard.
25 million
Hard.
extra votes. And then to say like, well, who are these people? Are they double voting? Are they all legal votes? Are they, you know, it's just that to me is like the best case for like, that was an odd election.
Yeah.
You know, and we need to get back to normal.
I think we're going to have another odd election.
Yeah.
Man, the borders are open. You got a lot. I like that
Yeah.
conspiracy theory. A lot of people coming in.
Why? Because we might be at war and might get attacked and you got to vote from home because you can't go out to the voting polls because everything's being attacked.
Well, I think you're saying that the vast number of illegals could vote.
Yeah.
That too.
It could happen.
They're going to
yeah.
push the issue and let them vote, and then it's going to.
Well, eventually they definitely want them to vote, and they'll say like, "What do you mean it's illegal?" They'll say, "They can't vote." You know, it's like, "Oh, well, why don't we just require an ID to vote then?" No, you can't do that.
It's racist.
It's
You
like,
can't. I'm like, what?
well, I need an ID to like buy alcohol or go on an airplane or rent a car, but not to vote. Like
To
what?
cut hair, you need a license.
Yeah, it's like, it's just so. And then even if, you know, Democrats will say, well, illegals can't vote. Like, for sure some do, and even if they don't know they are, people are filling out their ballots. Okay. Their kids vote, and their kids are Americans.
Yep.
You know?
It might not affect this election, but down the road, it's
They've
gonna
been
affect-
playing this game for 40 years. It's like, it's just crazy that we allow this, you know? And like anyone born here is an American. It's like, then they get to vote. Okay, so yeah, even if that illegal doesn't vote, their kids do, their grandkids do. That's why this is more about like demographic change.
Yeah.
We also
than,
need to like start preaching that people who don't vote should start voting, because more than half the country doesn't even vote.
Right.
And that's a big problem.
Well,
too.
we have the biggest number of incarcerated, so
yeah,
they might
but
not be able to vote.
11 million people, like say. 30
No, yeah,
million
that's
people
true. We
overall.
don't. Yeah, a lot more people could vote.
Yeah.
So what's going to bring them out to the polls? Are those the ones that came out and voted for the last election?
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's the whole.
We don't
conundrum.
know.
Somebody
That's the
knows.
mystery.
Somebody knows.
Somebody knows something.
Somebody knows something. I'll never know, but somebody definitely knows. So we're winding down. I know you have other places to be. Just want to know, for the right stuff, when you started that, let's get back to that.
Yeah.
Did you have that like entrepreneur mentality, or were you just looking for your next thing? What really got you up in the morning to do it?
Well, I've always been super ambitious, and I always wanted to own my own company. I thought it'd be cool. I think it was the right combination of a political background, because this has a political kind of feel to it. And then also, my dad's a small business owner. My uncles are small business owners. Like, I've been in this kind of entrepreneurial world growing up, and I knew like working for yourself is kind of the way to go, although it's a lot more stress, although it's a lot more difficult, although you have to be creative and willing to sacrifice, the payoff can be big. So I think a combination of how I grew up, kind of knowing I want to be my own thing, with the political background, kind of just culminated in it.
What kept you? Did that all kept you motivated to keep going at it every day?
It's hard because when you're starting out, and you're getting no traction and it's embarrassing, you want to quit. And I've wanted to quit so many times, but for some reason I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing it. When you go from working in the White House to making TikToks to get 4 views, it's very embarrassing.
Yeah.
But if no, I'm doing something right, and I know this will work out eventually, you just have to suck it up. There's actually a great book about this. It's called The Dip. It's very short. And it talks about how if you just get through the dip, there's no stopping you. It's so when I realized, with the right stuff, if I just don't stop, it will be successful. Because how could it not? I'm just not going to stop. So it's we don't have that many downloads this month. Okay, not stopping.
Yeah,
our
going.
videos didn't go that viral this month. Okay, still making them. If you just don't stop, as long as you have the right idea, of course. If you have a total failure of an idea, and then you should abandon it and rethink. But we know our idea is good. We know people want this product. We know it's good. So just don't stop the dip. Get through the dip.
The book's called The Dip?
Yeah, it's a great book.
I'm going to read that.
It's a great book. It's just get through it.
Buy it
Nothing.
right now on
Yeah,
Amazon.
it's very
Nice.
short. You'll read it in
Nice.
a day.
For the name, I'd like the little double meaning there.
The right stuff.
How'd you come up with it?
Okay, to give credit, the same friend of mine, the girl who told me to make the app for Republicans because all her girlfriends want to date Republicans, also gave me the name.
Really?
Yep, she's a space enthusiast, so the right stuff was a space thing,
Okay.
And she's like, call it the right stuff, right, play on words. I was like, yeah, that's great. And then when I brought it to the investor, he loved the name. And then when I told Trump the name, he was like, that's a great name for it. So I was like, okay. So it was the girl's idea. The investor loved it. Trump loved it. We're like, boom, the right stuff.
Nice.
I'll have the book tomorrow.
Amazing. Let me know how it is.
I'm gonna.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool book.
Two final questions.
I also have a lot of
Good.
other book recommendations if you need them.
I'll take 'em.
Yeah, okay.
I find myself, fuck you in your second question. I find myself, we're in this lull, and we're trying to do something and trying to get it going, and I find myself once a month, I'm like, this is stupid, I quit, to myself, and then
War of Art is another good one.
you sold me on it being a short book. I was
War of Art is very short as well.
You got
And
the
if
right
you have
stuff,
the
bud.
time, Art of War.
Yeah, a little longer.
Yeah. Just,
What is it called?
War of Art. Actually, I heard Joe Rogan recommend that book, and I thought, I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
Hey, Joe, we still have your bone here. If you're going to come pick it up ever.
But the dip is the one you need.
We found bones in the river.
Mhm.
Let's go off topic. We found bones that were talked about on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he said, if anyone finds anything, find a tusk, we'll have you on the podcast. So we go out in the river. We found 3 specimens.
Where's your... Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck, Joe? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
we have to do the dude web question.
Oh, then we
That
gotta
was
go.
one of the
Sorry.
questions.
Okay.
But before that, I have a question. So you're in the White House, you're around Trump and all that stuff. What was the coolest moment you've had throughout that whole experience?
Okay, so I'll give two different answers.
Okay.
So the coolest thing that ever happened to me is just because it was very surreal was I'm traveling with him full time on the trail in 2016, and no one thinks he can win. I do, and he does. But the night before the election, we do like 6 or 7 different states. I mean, it is a packed day. We get in at like 3 a.m. from the last rally. The election is the next morning, beginning at 7, 8, 9 a.m.
Right.
So I'm the last person to see him that night because I'm bringing him all his boxes and bags and everything. And, I'm loading him up into his apartment, and then he has his newspaper, and he looks at me and he says, "So what do you think?" And I'm like, "I think you got it." And then he grabs his newspaper and he slaps me on the arm. He's like, "I think so too." And the next day he was elected president.
That's awesome.
And it's like, it's just cool to be the last person to see him that
That's
night.
only you're in his moment. Like,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
I would
It
have
was
fell
just-
to the ground like, hit me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a soccer player. Or
Then when you're in the White House, there's a lot of cool different experiences. You
Right.
travel the world, going to China with the president. What's cooler than that? One time they shut down the whole Eiffel Tower for us, and he had dinner at the top, and like the staff got to eat there too, and we're like looking over Paris. Like unreal.
That's crazy.
But on your day-to-day, what's the coolest thing you do is Marine One, the helicopter that lands on the South Lawn. You get to load up, and you fly through D.C., and it takes you to Air Force One, and you are
That's
off.
incredible.
That whole journey, when like DC is basically just, you're just flying through and you're with the president and he's got the helicopters, and you're just.
No one can tell you what to do.
It's just
You're
like
the president.
You can't park there. Watch me.
It's just a surreal feeling, and you get to do it a lot, but every time is cool, and that's probably the coolest thing you do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to ask you the last question
Yeah,
of the day.
shoot,
The
yeah.
hard-hitting question.
Okay.
The rules are very simple. It could be something you've seen,
I've seen. Okay.
something you've experienced yourself,
Okay.
or a story someone told me or
Mhm.
told you that a dude wipe would have benefited you. I hope you had a shit in the White House. But
So one time I shit my pants in the White House. Not to throw my sister under the bus.
Your much older sister?
My much older sister.
Very nice.
When she was swimming as a child in
Mm.
Newport, you're having a lot of fun.
Very relaxed.
You're relaxed.
Swimming, yeah.
And you just ate on the pier, whatever. So she had to take a shit, and she decided she didn't want to walk all the way to the beach house and do it.
That's for losers.
So you're in the ocean. Just kind of let it out. Except she didn't realize that it would float. So she let one out, and then they're all floating, and this thing is just following them around.
Oh,
I don't know if necessary a dude wipe would have helped her in that scenario.
but it is an excellent story.
But it's an excellent story. That's
Yes.
a pretty good one. That's
So
a pretty
she
good one.
probably could have used one
after
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
ocean
when you're
helped her.
swimming around and there's a log following you, and everyone's like, "What the?"
It doesn't
hell
want
is
to get
that?"
away from you. We
You know,
have
it's
the
just
lot
like-
in the river over here. The boats go by and they dump, and for some reason that shit chases you. We call it river cheese.
Yeah,
Terrible.
yeah.
Excellent.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
How can the people find you? What's your plugs?
Date Right Stuff on TikTok or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Date DATE Right Stuff, or The Right Stuff in the App Store. If you're single and conservative and looking for love, it's free to use.
And if you're not single but still looking for love,
If you're not single but looking for love, try like Ashley Madison or one of those. Yeah.
I'm saying, but I went to a wedding this one time. It's a quick story. I went to a wedding and I had a girlfriend at the time. We were like on the outs, and there was this girl there in the wedding party, and I was hitting on her. She's like, "You have a girlfriend?" I'm like, first of all, when's the last time you walked to the car dealership? You drove your broken ass car there. You traded the fucker in. You left in a new one. That's what we're doing here.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
She
yeah.
liked that
If you're
analogy.
right. Yeah. You may be. Yeah. Right. If you're not married.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Saying.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Check out The Right Stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks.